I feel that St. Bernardine wasn't the perfect candidate to go out and speak and be a fisherman of men, but he did it. He did it. And I must say, I'm not the perfect candidate either, but I feel called. Um, I told a few people this story, but I went to church. Yoli had invited me to church, and I was baptized. Went to St. Joseph's School, everything. But along the way, you get distance yourself from the church. Life happens, and I went to church, and I met Father Chi, and I thought he was very welcoming and kind and everything. I haven't met a priest in a long time that made me feel like that. Fast forward a few, maybe a month or so later, my daughter went on a retreat with SJC and came back, and she felt touched and inspired. And she came home and she said if my husband and I wanted to go to church with her. And I was extremely tired this Sunday, and I felt like, oh no, but we want to encourage our kids to be positive, so I said, okay, we'll go. And we went, and I went to mass and with her and my husband and I felt inspired, and I looked around at the church, and I saw, I never really looked around in a long time at the church, but it was starting to look run down, and I realized that there were very few people in the church. And I felt compelled to do something about it. And so I reached out to Yoli, and I reached out to Father Chi, and we started with asking a few people that we know attend church and we feel are also trailblazers within that church. But we reached out to them and asked Samira Musapot, Francois Shabat, Christine Zabane, Michelle Sampson, Monique Ile Lam, am I forgetting any? Adelaide Zabido, Angel Cal, Maria Zabane, and everybody was so willing to come together to help restore St. Joseph. And the first thing we had to do was do a cleanup, because we noted it was really run down and dirty. And you come to church, you sit down, you walk out. And you don't really look around. I felt like my eyes were open. That's how I felt. And so from there, we started the cleanup. When I said to Yoli, she's always ready to go to church. So she was ready to jump in, and I didn't have anybody tell me no.
Right.
And so that motivated me even more. And when we did the cleanup, it was amazing, the amount of people that came out. And I felt like all along the way, there was different little miracles happening, because we said we're going to do this cleanup. We didn't know how we were going to fund the cleanup. We had nothing, and we did it in like a week or less. We had nothing. We called up Boyne & Boyne, and we spoke to a young lady there, and she said she was willing to assist us with some drinks and stuff for the cleanup. And then she said, I'm not baptized. And I said, oh, really? And she said, and I want to be baptized. How can you help me with that? And so I was like, man, I'm really a fisherman. And so I put her in touch with Father Chi, and she's working and getting baptized now. So that was wonderful. I called up Publix, and they were willing to give us some hot dogs. Mirab was willing to give us a coffee pot. We had, who else? We had my brother, Anthony Mahler, and his wife. They donated. to help us. My sister Marcia Boulois and Nigel, they donated as well. We had different companies. Am I missing anybody? I know I'm missing a lot.
The truth is that we had so many people come together. We actually made a list because the list was so long.
And everybody's still not on that list.
Yes, everybody's still not on that list. So, firstly, I want to say that the cleanup was an absolute success. We want to say thank you, a huge, huge thank you to a whole lot of people because, like Melissa explained, the cleanup was, it was needed for us to be able to start the work that we want to do, and we could not do that without getting the cleanup done. So we had to like fast forward the cleanup and just say, okay, we're doing it next week, let's get going. And in doing that, yes, we had no idea where certain things would have come from. We invited schools, and we want to say a huge thank you to SCA. We've gotten great support from SCA so far. We want to say thank you to Palote, to BHS, to some BS students that came out, to SJC, to the parishioners, to City Council. City Council, we are saying a huge, huge thank you to City Council. Yes, we want to say thank you to Deputy Mayor Miller and to Councillor Sherwin Garcia. They didn't just send us help.
They came out.
They came out and they sweat. They assisted us with everything. They got in there, they shoveled, they cleaned, they swept. They did a great assistance to us. We want to thank all the gentlemen who were on the truck to pack up those 3 truck loads that we took out from St. Joseph Church. I could not believe that we took out so much, right?
It was a lot.
It was a lot. That was incredible. When I saw the first truck go, and then I'm still seeing like, oh, maybe is that another half load or a load? Then the second truck went, and I'm going like, oh, wow, this isn't just a second load. There's a third load. And they worked through Saturday. Everybody worked. It was a labor of love.
Amen.
Yes, it was such a beautiful, beautiful collaboration.
There was some parents who went to drop their kids and ended up staying.
Wow.
They ended up staying. They wanted to help. And I noted that when we first got to the cleanup, before we had even arrived, there were 2 ladies standing outside of church. And I wasn't sure if they were there for the cleanup or who they were, because I didn't know them. And we opened the gates and they came in, and sure enough, they were there for the cleanup. They said that Restore Belize had mentioned to them about the cleanup. Okay. And apparently Restore Belize had sponsored, given their daughter a scholarship. Okay. And so the mother came out with her daughter, and they wanted to, Miss Keelan, I hope I am not butchering her name, but Miss Keelan, she came out with her daughter, and she worked in that church. She worked so hard, she and her daughter. And she said, we were looking for community things to do, to give our community service to, and this was right on the top. When Restore Belize told us about this, we wanted to come and join. And she was out in the village, I think she was. So she caught her bus to come. Wow. Hence, I said all along this journey, and we've had little miracles all along the way. We have so much that we want to do for St. Joseph. The roof needs fixing. The windows at the top are rotted, and we can't even open them because we're afraid they might fall. And so the bathrooms need a complete makeover. Yeah. We're doing fixing over, cleaning all the altars. A lot of them need repairs. some of the statues needs to be repainted. There's so much to do on the grounds and everything. We want to get, hopefully we can get St. Joseph back to its original glory and maybe even better.
You're right.
That's and bring people back into the church. So we started, it's been hard because especially for this weekend was extremely hard on us with the cleanup. By the time we were done, I felt like those 3 trucks ran over me. I was extremely exhausted. But I went home and got prepared for Sunday morning, and we made some chocolate milk, we made some punch, we did coffee and tea and water, and we handed it out the Sunday morning to church. We want to do that every Sunday morning and every Sunday evening, in a way to get people to socialize, because I think, especially with all these cell phones and all the technology today, while it's good in one way, we have lost that human touch.
Of course.
So we want to get back to socializing with each other. Hence the reason we started doing that. We've been pulling it out of our own pockets right now, and we do have a few people that chip in and help, but really it's our church council our newly formed church council that we've been harassing and badgering for funds, and they've been willing. Mr. Francois Shabat has been so good at, everybody does something. Samira has been there helping us, drafting letters and doing whatever she can. Miss Maria as well, sending supplies. Jason Wang also, he's not even of our church, and so we've been getting positive feedback from people, and hopefully that we can get people back into the church, because recently with all the crime and everything that's happening, we're losing that battle where, as Father Chi told me, we have basically 1 marriage per year. So that means people aren't getting married, they're preferring, and I am a strong believer. I've lived with somebody a little bit before, but I am a strong believer at tying the knot too.
Yes.
But we are down to 10 to 12 baptisms for the year, which means that we're not even having new parishioners, hardly anybody. As I said, the young lady from Boyne and Boyne who said, I don't know why my mom didn't baptize me, but I want to be baptized. So along the way, we've been finding little miracles happening, and we managed to have all the hot dogs and the drinks and all the cleanup and supplies and everything. It magically appeared, rather it miraculously appeared for us for the cleanup. So what we are hoping to do, and we are hoping by the end of the month, we want to do a walk and ride for Jesus march, and we want to start it on a Saturday at 6:30 in the morning. Start from St. Joseph and end at St. Joseph. We haven't
map out the road.
The route as yet, but we're getting there. But that's the plan, and we also want to host a rosary tea party with some of the ladies that attend and pray the rosary on a regular basis at church. As you know, May is for the month of Mary.
Yeah.
So we want to celebrate that as well. So that those are the 2 events that we are hoping to target. Like I said, after church on Sunday and all that cleanup, we were exhausted. We went to bed, but early on Monday morning, there's so many ideas coming in my head what we should do. So between my daughter and Yolanda, so I think something they inspired in me. So I have to say thanks to Carly and thanks to Yoli for that, and Father Chi for his welcoming. He's been such a blessing to us in this whole journey that we started on, because he's been motivating us, encouraging us, and supporting us, and directing us in everything.
Definitely.